Okay, I'm back. Welcome back to day 4 of the Dolphin Series. Apologize for not uploading here lately. I had some more in real life issues. Turns out that my power went out, so I wasn't actually able to play the game or record or do hardly anything. But I'm back now, and we're going to get back to the series. Today was essentially just kind of a prep day. Like, all that I really ended up doing for most of the day was, getting some ley lines, like you probably see on the screen here, that I ended up, doing the money ley lines. If you saw in previous videos, I generally go for money ley lines when I don't really know exactly what I want to kind of do for the characters, because sometimes it might be better to get talent books, or it might be better to go farm bosses, or just do other things that you have to kind of do with your resin. And when you just don't know, you can always just go for money. Like, money is the easiest thing to do. I know you've heard me say this countless times, but going for the money ley line, you're always going to need money. Now, what I was preparing for was the Albedo Quest line. Like, I pretty much am kind of running out of time here. I need to hurry up, get my team together, so that way I can handle doing the whole Dragon Spire place, which is just full of ice and lots of dangers. So if you noticed, most of my characters that I got are ice characters, and since Dragon Spire is just a giant mountain of ice, they're not going to do so well. So I need to get Zhangling. Now you're probably like, well, how do you get Zhangling? Are you going to roll again? No, I'm not going to roll. I'm going to save that for later. Still debating if I'm going to roll on the upcoming banner coming up, the Ito banner, but you just have to kind of wait and see. But for what I'm doing, I'm going to do the Spiral Abyss. If you clear floor 3 in the Spiral Abyss, you get Zhangling. And I need Zhangling for my team so that way I can go handle Dragon Spire. I already got Bennett. You saw my rolls. You saw that I snagged a C1 Bennett, so my account's looking pretty good. Now all I need is Zhangling, where ideally if you can get a C4 Zhangling, she's really powerful, but Zhangling's just that good of a character that at C0, she's really good. So that's what I'm pretty much trying to do for today. So today, pretty simple. Get commissions, get the money. Let's then head on over to Spiral Abyss so that way I can get a Zhangling. So in a later video, you'll see how I ended up doing in the Spiral Abyss. You'll see if I made it all the way, if I was able to get her, or eventually I just had to leave because it was too hard. A few other small things that I need to worry about is fishing. Now, fishing is one of the annoying things that you have to do in Genshin. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just be honest with you guys, I'm going to kind of cheat. What I'm going to do is, once I unlock Inazuma and I can get to all the places that I need to fish, I'm going to go into Friends Worlds, and by friends I mean my other account, and co-op there and fish on there. Because the thing that you can kind of do when you have some friends, if you need some materials, the silk flowers that I was talking about earlier, fishes, rocks, which you're going to probably need in the future to level up your weapons, you can go to other people's worlds and get that. So having some friends that play Genshin, or maybe they just kind of stopped playing or something like that, and you're like, hey, mind if I can at least get into your world or something, you can kind of help out and you can get things done a lot faster. So but when you're just by yourself, I know at least for the fishing quest, it's gonna probably take you, let's say, probably 9 days just trying to wait and trying to get all the resources by yourself. That's why it's helpful if you can maybe get a friend or something like that. You can also just join co-op, and hopefully someone invites you in there, and you're just you can just kind of be nice and just be like, hey, I was just coming in here to fish, do you mind? At first, when the fishing event came out, no one wanted to do that. Now, no one really fishes, so they probably won't mind you just going in there and fishing. So it might not be bad for you just to try to hop in someone else's world and, get a few materials. It saves you some time. Now, the reason why I need to kind of focus on fishing a bit is because once I get Jangling, she should be strong enough to pretty much handle everything. But like one of her best weapons that, as people would say, free to play, is the catch. And to get the catch, you got to catch some fish, and a lot of fish. So I'm gonna try to get on that as soon as I can. I already have the Serenity Pot, which is not the most fun, and fishing is not the most fun, but there's some things that you need to do to get a lot of resources in this game, so it's better just to kind of get them out the way fast and get back to just having fun and, you know, beating those really strong monsters. Alright, now if you see here, I just reached Adventure Rank 25. What this does, it allows me to get the city reputation. The thing about the city reputation is really good because that's how you can get like condensed resin. So a lot of times when you don't know what to do with your resin, pretty much you just kind of like get condensed resin. The place where you go to do that is Leeway. I definitely recommend that you pretty much try to max out Leeway first. You can do Monostat or Leeway at the beginning, but Monostat's a little small area, it's pretty easy to get to. Leeway has condensed resin, which is one of the most helpful things in the game to get to. So just leveling up there, you pretty much want to max out all your cities. So how I would kind of say to do it is do Leeway, then Monostat, and then Inazuma. Like, the city reputation thing is kind of annoying. You have to like find, it forces you to like use your elemental sight to find stuff and everything, and you have to do it in Leeway and Mondstadt. Leeway is probably the hardest because there's like mountains and stuff that you gotta climb, so it makes it very difficult, whereas Monostat, not so bad. There's hills and stuff, so still it can be kind of annoying, but since it's just a smaller area and generally it's just kind of like an open field, they're generally easier. So Leeway is definitely your priority when leveling up your city reputation. Here you see me doing the trial runs. This is something that you definitely want to do, like when there's a new character coming. You kind of want to just use this just to see how they play. The annoying thing about these trial runs is that if you notice, like I'm playing Eula, how I mentioned in my earlier thing, I didn't want to get Eula on this new account because, you know, as you saw there, she missed her attack, so a lot of these enemies didn't kind of get hit, which when you miss an attack, when you miss that ultimate with Eula, it's really bad. Also, too, the trial runs aren't the greatest way to kind of tell because one of the hidden things in the game is energy recharge. And how they set these up is that you get increased energy recharge in these places. Also, when you kill enemies, you get those little orbs which give you energy, so you're able to use your ultimates a lot easier. But if you're like out in the open world or you're trying to do Spiral Abyss, you don't get energy that easily. Like for Eula to work, you need to probably have some other ice character on your team, like Rosaria or Diona, and also probably still have a little bit of energy recharge. And when you're putting stats into other things, like if you're trying to like just get a lot of energy recharge, it messes up stats for stronger stuff that you could have, like crit rate and crit damage. Generally, you always want like a lot of crit rate and crit damage on like your main attackers. So having to waste it on energy recharge just to make the character work kind of weakens the character. So unless you end up rolling really well in an artifact and you still have like a good amount of crit rate and crit damage, Eula's kind of hard to play, and even still you might have to reset a lot. So don't get confused about like, wow, it's really easy to activate these abilities here. Just kind of basically use this as like, yeah, I really like playing Changling. Yeah, I really like how Eula works. I really like how Albedo works. And then if you're just like, I like the characters, then you can consider rolling. One good thing to do is just to, you know, look at YouTube, see other people that kind of mention and see how they work and how their energy actually is. That way you have a full understanding, and just generally don't roll on the first day that they come out until they're properly tested. That way you know if they're worth the character that you want, and you want that on your account. Or if you just really like how the character looks and you don't care what flaws they may have, go ahead and roll. But remember, spin wisely. And the last thing that I did for today was go and do my Ascension quest. Now, once you reach a high enough adventure rank, what it's going to do is it's going to give you a quest to where you need to go into a dungeon and fight a few monsters, so that way the game can basically see like, are you strong enough to be able to handle the next world level? And if you beat everything, defeat all the monsters, it'll go ahead and increase your world level. Now, there may be some instances where you may not want to do this, because like if the world level increases, all the monsters increase. And how that ends up working in the game is that anything that's above like 5 levels than you is essentially a red, and you pretty much do decreased damage to them. If they're like a yellow, you pretty much do that equal damage, and if you're like a green, they're like a green, then you're pretty much just like doing more damage. So a lot of times when things are red, and as you see with most things, you have a time, it's going to be really hard to defeat them within the time limit. So, you know, if you're going into talent dungeons, weapon ascension material dungeons, all of those dungeons, if these things are just higher level than you and you don't have your weapons leveled up, you may not beat that. And just going out in the open world and just trying to defeat monsters and do things, you know, if you're just too weak, it's going to be really hard. Now, what I recommend is that even if you're like, well, my team's not that strong and, you know, maybe you don't know how to play the game that well, I suggest that you attempt and try to go ahead and do this dungeon and just go ahead and increase your world level, because the reason being is MiHoYo saw this, and some people did this quest, beat it, but they were not able to go through the world and they were just getting beat up. So they gave a feature where you can actually lower your world level. And once you choose to lower your world level, you can't change it for another day, so you want to definitely be careful not to just do it all the time. You want to like make sure like, yeah, these monsters are just too strong, and then you can lower your world level. But if they are, you know, feel free to lower your world level. But if the reason why you want to try to attack things at the highest world level is because you get more materials. And if you've noticed me playing this game, I'm constantly picking up materials, killing monsters, getting everything that I can from them. So if they're giving me more materials, that's less time that I gotta do trying to find monsters, because once you get higher levels in this game, they're going to require more materials from the monsters. So I want to try to get the best stuff that I can from them immediately. So best thing that I recommend, go through, beat this dungeon, get your world level increased, and then do what you can to make your team as powerful as they can. Level up the talents, level up the weapons, get them that level. Don't make them fully all the way level, like, you know, 40 is the highest they can go to. Make them 39, because you always get experience going out in the world. But that's the best way to do it. That way your character is as strong as it can be, and you can handle that. Also too, look into your artifacts. Like, a lot of people just don't level their artifacts, and you know, one of the best artifacts to level is the flower. Doing that can get you a lot of damage increase, and I think I mentioned that in a previous video, so feel free to look at that. But that's all there is for me today, guys. Quick little video, just letting you know where day 4 is upcoming. I'm going to be showing how I did in the Spiral Abyss, so look forward to that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Talk to you guys later.